Hey guys, we're going to look at how to solve and use the Pythagorean Theorem. So we're going to look at two examples together, and the Pythagorean Theorem is on the reference sheet on the Regents. So you'll see it. It's just basically a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And when it comes down to a right triangle, which it's only used for, you just got to make sure that A and B are the legs, which are connected to the right angle, and then C is the hypotenuse, which is opposite that right angle. So we're going to look at question 2 and question 4. So as I'm looking at question 2, I see a 24 and a 45, which are connected to that right angle, which means that the 24 and the 45 are going to go in for A and B. And then C, obviously here, the hypotenuse is going to go in after the equal sign. So what you're going to want to start off by doing is squaring 24 and 45. I'm going to pull up my calculator right now. So I got there we go, 24 squared, which is 576, and I got 45 squared, which is 2025. So I'm just going to write right on the screen. So I got 576 and 2025. I'm going to add those two together because they're on the same side of the equal sign, which you get 2600. Now we got to take the square root of 2600. So to do the square root button, you have to press the blue key, second button, and then the x squared button. And then you can put in that number underneath it. So for this one, let's say we round it to the nearest tenth, 50.99, which would end up being approximately 51. Now going back to the paper, one thing you'll notice is that the hypotenuse should always be the longest, so that's a good way of checking to make sure if you're solving it the right way. So this is 51, which means that 51 right there is the biggest of the three sides. Now the other one we're going to look at is question 4. Now I noticed that near my right angle here, the two values I have are 24 and x. So I'm going to do, for this question, I'm going to do 24 squared plus x squared. And that's going to equal the hypotenuse, which is across in the right angle, which in this case is 40 squared. Now to save a little time, I know some of these already, we just did 24 squared, which is 576. And 40 squared is like 4 squared, with 2 zeros, which would be 1600. Now what makes this a little different is because the two numbers are on opposite sides, we're going to have to subtract the 576 on both sides to get the x squared by itself. Now this will end up becoming 1024, and then I got to take the square root. So I'll go back to my calculator a second. X squared 1024, hit enter, and that when I get that x is going to be, after the square root of both sides, x equals 32. So if I put this in for 32, what I just talked about earlier still holds up. You have sides of 24, 32, and the hypotenuse is the biggest, which is 40. So 24 and 32 are less than 40, so it does check in that case.